We're just shy of 7:59 on your Thursday morning drive. Picking it up in Polk County. Heads up on Highway 221 near Xena Road. A northbound crash right now has traffic backed up about 2 miles around that. So just give emergency responders some space and yourself some extra time to get around that. Also in Yamhill County, getting northbound from Newburgh to Chehalem, we've got a crash that's got a lane blocked on 99W. So traffic really slow there. And the Sunset coming in from the west side, an earlier crash near Sylvan. That's out of the way, but the drive has spiked up to nearly 40 minutes from Hillsborough. Rod?
Well, thank you, Chris. You know, the only spot that's really had, in my view, a good bit of rain this morning is down in Salem and areas even south. Here's the radar right now. This is the second stretch of rain that's moved up into Salem. The area has been breaking up and then drifting east mainly of downtown Portland. There's a little bit of light rain over in Newburgh right now. So clearly we have the ongoing threat of showers in our forecast. Downtown itself in Portland continues to be dry this morning. Our temperature is 56. Like yesterday, we'll see highs in the 60s.
Honestly, like for the most part, it was pretty peaceful yesterday and it wasn't like as chaotic as they were saying.
Now on KGW Plus, as National Guard troops prepare to deploy to Portland, people who work and live near the city's ICE facility give their feedback on what's actually happening in their neighborhood. Plus,
we have two CRJs on mics that collided.
Two planes collide on a taxiway in a New York airport. What happened and how the passengers and crew are doing this morning. Then,
we're not getting paid for the work we're performing. We're nervous about making ends meet.
employees impacted by the government shutdown speak out as they figure out how to pay their bills while Congress remains at a standstill. And later,
I'm so pleased and relieved, honestly.
if you park in downtown Portland, your wallet can also breathe a sigh of relief after at least for now, why Portland Mayor Keith Wilson is pausing the newly extended pay to park hours ahead at 8 o'clock. Good morning, and thank you for joining us live at 8 o'clock. I'm China Green.
and I'm Drew Carney. Look who else is here. Rodney Hill.
Boys.
Yep, Chris McGinnis, ready to deliver traffic and weather like nobody else can.
Go.
No pressure.
That's not necessarily good, I might add, but different. We'll go for different. All right. Here's our satellite radar. This is day 4 of measurable rainfall. We still think tomorrow will be dry. We've seen some lightning detected offshore from Newport, but I don't think we have a lightning threat inland today. Little dribble of rain out east. The main rain event has been right here, mainly hitting Salem and then kind of moving up toward Oregon City and then staying to the east of downtown Portland. There's a cluster of lightning strikes offshore from Long Beach, but again, nothing stormy inland. And downtown itself, right here, continues to be dry, but there's some rain down on Hubbard and Canby starting to pick up a little bit of light rain as well. Cloudy skies, Rose City camera, 56 degrees. Winds are from the southeast, generally light this morning. We keep this shower threat alive throughout the day. I still think it's reasonable to say more dry time, less rain all total today than what we saw yesterday. Here's Chris.
Rod, thank you for that. Got a couple of trouble spots. I want to circle around the region here. Down in Polk County, northbound, Highway 221, a crash near Xena Road. ODOT still has one lane blocked there, so you can see some local slowing northbound again on the west side of Salem through Polk County. Also getting out of Newburgh and north of Chehalem, so through Yamhill to Washington County, we've got a crash that has one lane of northbound 99W blocked. And last but not least, on the Sunset inbound, lots of cars in the backup here. The good news is the earlier crash just east of Sylvan has been cleared for a while, but there's always a residual delay, and that's why the drive from Hillsborough has jumped up to about 37 minutes at last check. Drew, Shannon?
All right, thank you, Chris. National Guard troops have begun mobilizing on the Oregon coast for their deployment to Portland.
So here's what we know so far. Some 200 members are now training in Warrenton, according to Senator Jeff Merkley. Now, why the timing of the boots on the ground in Portland remains unclear. Indications are that it will likely not be today. Tomorrow morning, a federal judge will hear Oregon's emergency motion to block deployment. Governor Tina Kotek says a 60-day operation could cost up to $10 million. That's accounting for salaries, supplies, and lodging. Last night, Police Chief Bob Day appeared on CNN to address what's happening on the ground here in Portland, particularly outside the ICE facility.
We're working closely with our federal partners, but the facility itself is managed and governed by the Federal Protective Service, and they have responsibility for that. And the incidents you speak of, for example, last night, occurring on their property. But Portland is very much engaged. And once again, this is just one small block in a big city that we're trying to manage for all the Portlanders.
All right, let's bring in Sunrise reporter Thomas Schultz, who's live at the ICE facility near the South Waterfront. You see, it's just a couple of miles from the heart of downtown Portland. Thomas, one thing is for sure this morning, it has been very quiet out there.
Yeah, it's been really quiet. Look, we've been out here since about 4:30 this morning. As you would expect, not a lot of people up at that time of day, but still, there's been no protest. We actually saw the one protester here we have seen milling around has been picking up trash. We are seeing more people start to arrive, though. It looks like a handful of protesters are here now, just starting to set up for the day, setting up tents and things like that. And as you would imagine, I mean, there's a lot more people here overnight as well. Still, it wasn't a significant amount of protesters by any means. Here's video of what our crew saw last night. Still a pretty small crowd, maybe 24 protesters. Though at one point, protesters appeared to heckle federal agents on the roof of the building. Minutes later, agents opened the gates of the building and detained one protester. Department of Homeland Security Assistant Secretary Tricia McLaughlin sent us a statement about activity in the area on Tuesday, saying over 100 rioters stormed an ICE facility in Portland. Now, that's something we have not been able to verify ourselves. At most, once again, we've seen maybe 40 people here, our crews that have been here all throughout the day. Most people we've spoken with in the area as well say national rhetoric about these protests just don't match what they're seeing.
Honestly, like, for the most part, it was pretty peaceful yesterday, and it wasn't, like, as chaotic as they were saying. Like, I didn't see anybody rush the gate at all, and like I said, I think more of the rushing came from, like, the actual agents and stuff when they rolled out in the van and started just tearing down the street towards people and everything.
DHS Assistant Secretary McLaughlin went on to write, they assaulted law enforcement, even putting one member of law enforcement into the hospital, trespassed on federal property, attacked law enforcement by blinding them with strobe lights, and blocked the entrance to the facility. Now, we did see an ambulance enter the building, but it's unclear what it was for. In terms of trespassing, we've seen a couple people cross painted lines on the ground. One person put a sign on the ICE facility. Our crews have also seen protesters use flashlights set to strobe mode, but for the most part, they've been using loudspeakers when there is more protesters out here. DHS tells us that 6 rioters, as they call them, have been arrested. Those charges include things like assault of law enforcement. We checked in with the Multnomah County Jail and the booking section of the jail to see if we could find those suspects. We weren't able to find any records of those arrests. Drew, China.
Thank you, Thomas. Meantime, Portland police released these pictures of a suspect wanted in connection with an assault they say happened Tuesday night outside the ICE facility. These pictures are of the same woman, just in different clothing. But police tell us that the victim was live streaming around 8:30 when they were hit in the face with a flagpole. Authorities say a dialogue liaison officer tried to stop the suspect, but she got away before they had officers arrive.
We've heard from people who say they don't want National Guard deployment here in Portland, but there's also people in the city who are for the idea. They say they welcome federal troops to potentially address some of Portland's biggest issues like crime, trash, and homelessness.
I kind of support it 110% just because I would like to see them clean up the city of Portland.
Well, I want to be very clear. Nobody wants to see troops in the street. But naturally, if city governments and police departments are not able to protect people, folks are going to look for protection from anywhere they can get it. And for those people who do not want federal troops in our streets, I would say start clamoring for your local government to protect our property, our businesses, and our lives.
We should also be clear at this point because so far, President Trump's National Guard authorization does not extend beyond protecting federal property and personnel.
We are tracking developing news this morning out of New York. At least one person was injured after 2 Delta planes collided while taxiing at LaGuardia Airport last night. The wing of one of the planes collided with the nose of the other on an airport's taxiway just before 10 p.m. A flight attendant on board one of the planes was taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. No passengers were injured during the collision.
Several people were hurt when an Amtrak train headed to Seattle collided with a fuel tanker near Santa Barbara, California. The truck was disabled and was stuck on the tracks at the time. Its driver was badly injured, and 3 train passengers were also taken to the hospital, but with minor injuries. About 260 people were on board the train as it was heading north again to Seattle. Amtrak brought in buses to take passengers to their other destinations.
The safety and security of our library patrons and our library staff is my #1 priority.
Efforts are being made to step up security at the Central Library in downtown Portland these days after some violent events outside the building this summer, including a deadly shooting and a deadly stabbing.
The library has already added more security inside and outside the building, but the director of library says that she isn't ready to add metal detectors because of the cost and pushback from workers. But in July, someone was shot and killed outside the library, and a few weeks later, there was a stabbing across the street. Since those incidents, an increase in security, the library director says that they've seen fewer issues.
We invest heavily in security. In fact, in our fiscal year 26 budget, we are investing $3.9 million in security costs overall in our library system.
The library director says that she would like to move forward with what they're called vapor sensors in the restrooms, which would detect smoke from illegal drugs.
Portland Street Response is adding 4 more hours to its regular schedule of response times. The city program will now respond to calls between 6 a.m. and midnight. The previous hours were 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. The city also added 14 new team members to the program, which sends a trained EMT and mental health professional to some calls.
There's definitely a need there. There's less resources available. There's also, the new shelters that were just opened by the city that do open later so we can get people in there later.
Portland Street Response also has a new phone number. We have it right there on your screen. It's 503-823-7773. In the event of an emergency, though, you should still call 911. Fall razor clamming season is back. It's underway right now along the Oregon coast in places like Seaside, Astoria, and Cannon Beach. Wildlife officials, though, are suggesting that people target larger clams right now because a lot of clams are still too small and too young. Springtime is considered a better time for this when clams have had a chance to grow. And here's something else to keep in mind. Diggers can only harvest up to 15 clams regardless of their size. You can find more information, including rules and regulations, on the Agriculture Department's website.
My Aunt Opal, my great Aunt Opal.
Opal is her name?
Opal, yeah.
I love that.
She lived in Seaside for about 20 years. Okay. Loved it there. But this is before I moved here. And then we traveled, myself and some cousins, out to see her. And we went, she took us razor clam. She had all the tubes and all that stuff. And
yeah, all the tools needed.
Yeah, a lot of fun.
They called her Seaside Opal, didn't they?
Seaside Opal. Yeah, people would shout that from the grocery store parking lot. You're right. All right, here's a look at our radar. A little cluster of thunderstorms, but offshore from Astoria. This has been, well, it was just light rain, but now it's picking up. There's some decent rain rates in this second wave of rain to hit our capital city so far this morning. There's Salem. Most of this has been near you and then off to the east. And there's Canby. You're now getting some rain. So far, actually, the downtown core of Portland has stayed dry, but this is the bigger threat of rain now starting to come in. The only camera I can find with any brightness at all is this one. This is Lewis River Golf Course up in Woodland along the Lewis River, fittingly enough. You can see a little brightness there, and whole cluster of golfers getting ready to go off on the first hole, which of course warms my heart. All right, temperatures in the 50s this morning. 50 up in Battleground, 51 Tiger, 52 in Wilsonville. Winds are generally light. 54 in Salem, where again this has been kind of the wet spot of our morning so far. I don't think there's an inland storm threat today. Everybody has a shower threat. And from Baker City 64 to the Dow 66 to Salem 64 and Tillamook 62, very little variance in temperatures expected today. All right, so scattered showers today. I still think overall when we look back, today will be drier than yesterday overall. 67 the high, all dry tomorrow. What's new is we're now thinking there could be a shower with a wave of clouds coming in Friday overnight and Saturday, but I still think Saturday's mainly dry. Sunday clears out with that east wind pattern that looks like it goes not only through Wednesday, but could extend into Friday of next week. Here's Chris.
Rod, thanks for that. All right, let's get you out the door with a look at the drive times. This is not great coming in from Hillsborough, just shy of 40 minutes. And the reason being, we had an earlier crash near the zoo. Here's what it looks like at Highway 217. I mean, we're crawling basically from Cedar Hills Boulevard to the Sylvan overpass. We'll show you where that crash has been cleared, just to the shoulder there. It looks like even the ODOT incident responders have cleared. So probably exchanging some information, and then hopefully they'll be on their way. But in any event, Highway 26, of course, eastbound is pretty backed up right now. Into Tualatin we go. There's your I-5 drive northbound near the 205 interchange. About 15 miles an hour, the commute northbound from there up through about the Nyberg exit, and then the speeds pick up a bit. Out towards Newburgh, still dealing with this crash on 99W northbound in Yamhill County. It's right near the Yamhill-Washington County line, so that is delaying the northbound commute right now between Newburgh and Chehalem. Drew?
All right, Chris, thank you for that. Hey, we're getting some more hours to park for free in Portland. That's because the city is pausing its plan to extend pay-to-park hours till 10 p.m. We'll have more on this when Sunrise continues. And later.
One day in and still no end in sight. I'm Bianca Fascini in Washington. Coming up, we'll have all the details on the government shutdown and what it means for federal workers.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news, live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news, live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
Business owners and those who frequent downtown can park for free a little bit longer.
KGW Sunrise reporter Corey Johnson has more on the changes.
Well, the extension on that Page Street parking pause comes after significant community pushback. Many business owners tell us they spent months pushing back on the city's decision to charge for street parking until 10 p.m. instead of 7. Now, on Wednesday, Mayor Keith Wilson reversed course and will roll back pay-to-park hours downtown. 2 weeks from today, however, the paid parking will revert back to 7 p.m., and that's for all of Portland, not just downtown. But keep in mind that event district parking enforcement, like around Providence Park and the Moda Center, will remain the same. Local business owners tell us they believe the extension is the right move.
A lot of us are night owls, so we like to go and see the shops that are still open at nighttime and have the fun that we like to have fun, but not having to worry about, man, I got to save this money for parking.
When the evening enforcement first began, PBOT says it was intended to create more turnover to increase parking availability. Back to you.
That is the latest on the parking situation. I mean, basically, they were saying, hey, you're going to have to pay to park longer downtown till 10 o'clock.
Yes.
Now, let's bring it back to 7 o'clock.
When they first launched it, I was like, I don't know if that's going to have the, I mean, I haven't done my research, but just as a local, I didn't know or think that would have the results that they were looking for.
Well, I think they just wanted more money. but I could see where it would deter people from coming downtown.
Yeah, because one person was like, which my husband and I have thought about going downtown. We're like, I don't want to deal with parking. Let's just go to somewhere in Tigard.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, that's the decision that some people make. So.
How about you, Rod? When's the last time you left Vancouver at night?
I have been on record. This is nothing personal toward anybody, but for the most part, when I'm off work, if I don't have to cross the Columbia River, I don't. I stay up in Vancouver.
And there's that rock, right? Isn't there that big rock that you crawl under and then they close the rock on top of you?
It's exactly right.
Yeah.
That's why I know so much about Groundhog Day, because the groundhog lives underneath there. Now it's all coming together, isn't it? Here's a look at our satellite radar. We've got upper level low here. We've got another low here. We're kind of in the middle. The shower activity's coming up this way, moving coming up from our south and moving across our state to the northeast. Everybody has a kind of an even shower threat today. I don't believe there's going to be an inland thunderstorm, but right here, this little ribbon has produced some storms out to sea. Right there, pop, 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 pop. Here's Salem. Again, this has been the wet part of our state, down around Eugene. It's been mostly migrating, hitting Salem, and then crawling east of I-5, now up into Canby. Its radar for the first time this morning is showing some light raindrops over downtown Portland. And again, all of this action trying to move up toward you folks in Sandy this morning. So obviously it's another rain jacket day. Everything we look at as forecasters indicates today ought to be a drier, less rainy day overall than what we saw yesterday. Here's the way Futurecast shows it. 9 o'clock this morning, there's that one area that just keeps getting hit with developing rain down around Eugene. And then I played it quickly, but that moved off to the northeast. This is 5:30 this afternoon, still some showers in the area. Here's dry weather overnight and dry weather here on the west side tomorrow morning, but a shower out around Burns. And then here is tomorrow night, incoming cloud cover with a weakening front that's mostly to our north. But some of the models are back to saying this could produce a shower threat for us. It would be really light rain amounts, like barely measurable. Friday overnight and a shower threat lingering on Saturday. I still think Saturday, if you're going to be out and about, well, it could be a mix of clouds and sun, will be mainly dry. And then Sunday, we think it just clears out. All right, temperatures out the door. Look at Seattle, 55. Look at Eugene, 54. Look at Newport. Look at Astoria. Look at, yeah, everybody's about the same. All right, 51 degrees out in Pendleton as well. So the valley forecast. We'll go with sun breaks expected and showers. So far, it's just been cloudy and kind of occasionally rainy down in Salem. 65 your expected high. It's been a dry start up in southwest Washington, but afternoon showers are expected. Highs up here 67 degrees. 7-day, what I mentioned, the dry day tomorrow, the shower threat Friday overnight, Saturday, the clearing skies Sunday, and then it's just Mr. Sunshine Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and maybe even Thursday, and maybe even Friday. That's going to be a long stretch for October, Chris.
That sounds awesome. All right, this is not. We'll pick it back up in Yamhill County right now. A crash on 99W. So ODOT reporting this crash has cleared. However, the trip northbound on 99W still appears to be pretty thick, getting up towards the Chehalem area. So plan some extra time there for sure. Keeping it on the west side, this has been the biggest trouble spot so far this morning on the freeways. An earlier crash near or just east of Sylvan. The crash has cleared a little while ago over to the shoulder, but the lineup is out past 217. So you're driving from Hillsborough now about 35 minutes. At last check, the trip through North Portland also running a little thick here. This is a live look at Lombard. You can see that southbound drive puttering along at about 9 miles an hour or so. 30 minutes gets you in from Main Street to the Fremont Bridge. We'll be right back.
KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus.
We have now issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yes.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW Plus.
So the government is shut down today, and so are lawmakers. Senators are not in session today, so no opportunity for votes that could reopen the government.
Now, as Americans prepare to deal with the consequences, NBC News is learning the Office of Management and Budget says that the administration will begin reduction in force in a matter of days. NBC's Bianca Fascini has the details from Washington, D.C.
It's completely unclear if any progress has been made at all between Democrats and Republicans. But we do know that layoffs are imminent, according to the White House, which could put hundreds of thousands of federal workers out of a job.
Every other shutdown.
24 hours later, and both sides are still blaming each other.
Donald Trump and Republicans shut the federal government down.
Democrats followed through on their threat to shut down the United States government.
While lawmakers will be in Washington Thursday, Capitol Hill was already planned to be fairly quiet in observance of Yom Kippur, according to Senate Majority Leader John Thune. The Senate holds their next vote Friday afternoon. As Americans wait for the stalemate to resolve, many federal workers are bracing for layoffs.
We're not getting paid for the work we're performing. We're nervous about making ends meet. And the American people are also nervous about what a government shutdown means to their earned benefits.
We don't like that. We don't necessarily want to do it, but we're going to do what we have to keep the American people's essential services continuing to run.
Now, the Democrats say these layoffs will be targeted toward government programs the GOP doesn't like.
Targeting the clean energy economy. Republicans have been doing that since January 20th and assaulted the clean energy economy and the creation of good-paying American jobs in their one big, ugly bill.
But it's a claim that the administration denies. At the heart of the issue is health care. The Democrats want to reverse Medicaid cuts and President Trump's tax breaks and spending reductions from the summer. They also want to extend tax credits that make health insurance premiums more affordable for the millions of people who purchase through the Affordable Care Act. For now, it seems like neither side is willing to budge. And according to the Congressional Budget Office, an estimated 750,000 federal employees could be furloughed each day of a shutdown. The shutdown means the Labor Department will be unable to release its monthly jobs report tomorrow, though it is highly anticipated since the labor market has shown some signs of softening. In Washington, Bianca Fascini, NBC News.
Still ahead in our next half hour, a deep dive into how the shutdown will impact government workers across the Pacific Northwest.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news, live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
Issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yes.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On weather impact alert days, stream extended coverage on KGW Plus.
Good morning, I'm China Green. National Guard troops have begun mobilizing on the Oregon coast for their deployment to Portland. So here's what we know. Some 200 members are now training in Warrenton, according to Senator Jeff Merkley. While the timing of boots on the ground in Portland remains unclear, indications are that it will likely not be today. Tomorrow morning, a federal judge will hear Oregon's emergency motion to block that deployment. Headed over to Rod Hill now for a look at weather.
Here we go again. Thank you, China. Good morning. Showers out there, scattered out east too, but the biggest chunk of rain continues to be this one. And now we've got actually a third surge of rain pushing inland south of Newport, working up through Salem, moving up through Oregon City. And finally, this batch of rain is now moving into downtown Portland, where we have light rain falling for the very first time this morning. Temperature outside is 56 degrees. Shower threat continues. We'll get some sun breaks today. I still think overall, with temps in the 60s today, we'll try it to be drier than yesterday. All dry tomorrow. A shower threat introduced Saturday, but sunny skies Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
Good morning. Look at this. Look at him. Get him. Oh, look. Make the basket. Make the basket. Boom. The Oregon Zoo getting in the fall spirit, posting this cute little video to Instagram with the caption, "Let the gourd times roll." Get it?
Let the gourd times roll.
Let the gourd times roll. It's very, I don't know. I find it very interesting to watch like all the different animals and how they attack or play or eat or swim.
Underwater,
with
there
the
you go.
pumpkins. Isn't that adorable?
I'm going to defer to Brian. It is a great time of the year at the zoo. They call like the last 2 weekends of the month of October usually Halloween.
Oh, yeah.
Halloween at the zoo. Brian Matthews, director of the 8 o'clock hour of the Sunrise Show. Fantastic director, by the way.
He's okay.
He's kind of a rock and roll guy. So, Brian, who sang that song? Gonna let the good times roll. Let the good times. Oh, it's the Cars. Yes, it is the Cars.
Oh, Brian
Good job,
came
Brian.
up with it.
Yes.
Cars?
The Cars. A great group from the 1980s, the 1980s. Let the gourd times roll in this case.
1980. Where were you, China?
My parents hadn't
She was a
even met.
twinkle in her parents' eye.
My parents didn't even meet yet.
All right, okay. Here's a look outside at our radar. We've got showers on the area, Oregon and Washington, out east as well. There's no storm chance expected today inland. We've seen some lightning in this cluster of thunderstorms, really offshore from Astoria earlier. That did produce some thunder. This area is not only picking up and being persistent of rain coming inland up into Salem, but it's turning heavier. This was just light piddly stuff, but now there's some decent rain. So turning out to be certainly a wet start over our capital city. And now for the first time this morning, we have rain that has moved northward up into downtown Portland. So this is pretty widespread. It is dry once you get out into Hillsborough and Forest Grove, but raining now up and down the east side, especially. There's 205, all wet, Oregon City, Gresham. Downtown Portland with light rain falling, 56 degrees is the number outside. We'll stay in the 60s for highs today. We do expect some sun breaks to open up. I still think it makes sense to tell you, despite what I just showed you on radar, that overall today we'll have more dry time than yesterday. We'll see. Temperatures statewide in the 60s. Again, the scattered shower threat. We should become completely dry here in western Oregon and southwest Washington overnight tonight. Stay completely dry tomorrow. A change in the forecast introduces a shower threat with some cloudiness coming in Friday overnight and during the day Saturday. I still think Saturday overall looks to be mainly dry, and then east winds still show up on Sunday developing. That'll clear us out and give us a run of really nice weather. Chris, I assume you saw the radar, much of the Portland area, especially off to the east side now, seeing rain falling.
Yeah, in fact, check this out. So we were down in West Lynn. Here you go, Rod. I'll step out of the way. I-205 near Highway 43. Cars slowing down as they should in the rain. Good for them. I see headlights on. I see windshield wipers going. All right, check. We're passing that test as well. The slowing starts down around Highway 213 in Oregon City, so it's heavy from there over the Abernathy Bridge and into West Lynn. And not that that's all that unusual for this hour of a Thursday morning commute, but Just to let you know we're watching it. Getting back out to Yamhill County, an earlier crash appears to be in the clearing stages now on 99W northbound between Newburgh and Chehalem. That said, there still is some local slowing getting around that, so plan accordingly. And still a really thick drive on the Sunset. We had an earlier crash near the zoo. It's out of the way now, but the drive in from Hillsborough still rocking about 40 minutes or just shy of that to get in from Brookwood Parkway to I-405. China, back to you.
Thank you, Chris. Our top story this week continues to be the deployment of the National Guard to Portland.
Guard members are preparing on the Oregon coast for that expected Portland deployment. KGW's Kyle Boshi has more on the timing of all this with reaction from people who live and work near the ICE facility.
200 members of the Oregon National Guard will train at Camp Rylea in Warrenton before being deployed to Portland, explained Senator Jeff Merkley.
Training in crowd control, training the rules for the use of force before being deployed.
It's not clear when troops will be on the ground in Portland. The focus of their mission, the ICE facility, where a small group of peaceful protesters assembled Wednesday afternoon. Just 2 blocks away,
it's nice down here, you know.
All Your Heart Coffee was filled with neighbors, medical students, and professionals. Shop owner Chris Johnson.
It feels to me like the narrative isn't accurate when you hear that the city's on fire.
The ICE facility sits in southwest Portland, away from the downtown core, in an area not so easy to access. Most Portland residents are more likely to recognize neighboring businesses, such as the Oregon Ballet Theater or Old Spaghetti Factory.
It's a great environment here, honestly.
PJ Smith and his dog Tofu live in the South Waterfront neighborhood, where sleek high-rise apartments and condos overshadow the ICE office.
It's not a war zone. There's nothing here that's, scary. I mean, I'm walking out here in a hoodie and shorts, for crying out loud.
President Trump ordered the deployment of the Oregon National Guard into federal service for 60 days after repeatedly raising concerns about Portland, including comments Wednesday on Truth Social calling the city a never-ending disaster. Kyle Boshi, KGW News.
Meanwhile, the Portland Marathon is coming up on Sunday. Organizers tell us they don't expect the National Guard's deployment to have any impact on the event. The race runs near the ICE facility, right around mile 10, and it also relies on Portland police to keep runners safe on the course. Organizers say if circumstances were to change at all this week, they would get in touch with runners. We also heard from the run club leader at Foot Traffic, who's getting ready to race alongside his friends.
We have so many great run clubs every time of the day, every day itself. Having that community, that supportive community surrounding you, and knowing that they're inspiring you, they're keeping you safe, they're looking out for one another. Portland in general is looking out for each other.
More than 75 Portland police officers are expected to work on Sunday, both on and around the race course. Now that the government has officially shut down, there are thousands of people all across the country who are bracing for potential furloughs.
That includes workers in Washington and Oregon. Leaders of both sides of the aisle are speaking out this week. Sunrise reporter Corey Johnson has the latest from state lawmakers.
Yeah, today marks day 2 of that shutdown, and this comes after the Senate failed to pass a government funding bill earlier this week. Now, nearly 80,000 federal workers in Washington state and thousands more in Oregon are bracing for furloughs or working without pay as that shutdown continues. Senator Patty Murray says Democrats are fighting to protect health care and prevent cuts that could make coverage more expensive. Democrats hoping to extend Obamacare subsidies before they expire at the end of the year to ensure health care funding continues and to avoid premiums growing. However, Republicans like Speaker of the House Mike Johnson said during a press conference that the shutdown was avoidable, accusing Democrats of refusing to compromise. In the meantime, the Oregon Employment Department made it very clear they're prepared to help employees impacted by the shutdown apply for unemployment insurance benefits.
Democrats are fighting to reverse the cuts, lower costs, and protect health care for the people we represent back home.
There is nothing new in this legislation. There's no poison pill. There's no partisan tricks. There's no gimmicks whatsoever.
Now, economists say the pain of the shutdown could be widespread, not only impacting federal workers, but also small business owners and families that rely on federal programming. Back to you.
Meantime, Oregon House Republicans have picked a new leader. Representative Lisetta Elmer from McMinnville will take over as House Minority Leader from Representative Christine Drazen as Drazen takes over a position in the Senate. We're starting to see the results of phone-free schools across the state of Oregon.
Governor Kotek signed an executive order over the summer banning cell phones in Oregon schools. Here's Sunrise reporter Thomas Schultz with more on how that ban is working.
Well, we've got some good news to share across the state. School leaders say that kids are interacting more with each other than they were in years prior. That's according to a roundtable that was held with state leaders and school administrators, and they share that they're hearing more laughter in hallways as well. As you may expect, administrators and state leaders believe the phone ban, no surprise here, positively impacts students' mental health. It can also help kids academically. There's less distractions in classrooms when phones aren't there. Now, we've all heard about kids sneaking phones into class, and that was a concern before this ban went into place as well. But politicians say this ban helps teachers crack down on phone use and make sure phones are actually put away. Some schools have actually added yonder pouches where students' phones are locked away all day. In North Clackamas, the district banned cell phones last year before the governor's executive order. State Representative April Dobson, who used to be on the North Clackamas School Board, says the district is already seeing good results.
Rates of harassment, fighting, harmful speech were all down as well. And one thing that was surprising but very welcome was that our attendance improved over the prior year by 6%.
And that's a big difference in an area where schools all across the state of Oregon have struggled. So maybe this could be some insight on what's to come for more school districts as this ban continues into the future. Thomas Schultz.
All right, that was Thomas Schultz reporting for us this morning. Let's talk about Portland parking here for just a second. The city is pausing its plan to extend parking hours in some neighborhoods. Mayor Keith Wilson says this pause is aimed at supporting businesses and encouraging more evening activities, especially in downtown. So for years, we know we only had to pay to park until 7 o'clock in Portland, but that time was recently extended to 10 o'clock. But now we're going back. We're going back to 7 o'clock, people. The pause includes neighborhoods like downtown and the Pearl. It's going to start on October 15th. That's when we're going to go back to 7 o'clock p.m. parking. A plan to extend parking hours in Northwest Portland, meanwhile, has been postponed.
The time now is 8:40. Let's head over to Chris McGinnis for a look at traffic.
All right, not pretty out there right now, guys. Here's a look at the drive times. They are elevated, and no coincidence with the rain coming in, right? 36 minutes to drive in from Hillsborough, 40 minutes from Troutdale, and 40 minutes also from Wilsonville. Let's get you around the horn, so to speak, here. This is I-5 near Capitol Highway, and that northbound commute is slow and go all the way up through the Twilliger curves and into the downtown core. Highway 26 westbound, we had an earlier crash near Sylvan. That crash is out of the way, but we're really thick now from Cedar Hills to about the zoo. So that's why the 35 to 40 minute drive to get you in from Hillsborough. This crash, that speed is wrong, by the way. I apologize for that. That earlier crash north of Newburgh on 99W has cleared, and the backup around that has also flushed out. So some good news there. Back to North Portland, your trip out of Clark County. Hits the brakes right there near, the Expo Center, and it's pretty heavy from there all the way down into the Rose Quarter. True, China?
All right, thank you, Chris.
A lot of people don't understand how some of these smart thermostats work.
Well, we're going to figure it all out together because today is a good energy day here at KGW, and coming up, we're talking about getting people access to energy while saving technology. Chris McGinnis is going to lead the coverage here. Stay tuned. Good energy coming your way on Sunrise.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
It's certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news, live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
We have now issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yeah.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW+.
Who knows what today is?
Good Energy Day.
Good Energy Day. Here at KGW, this is when we set aside time to focus on people and organizations who are doing good things for the environment.
Raising the roof for the environment.
What's that, Chris?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Pardon me, Chris?
Go ahead, Chris. Chris McGinnis is
Raising the
here
roof for the environment.
for details about Good Energy. You go.
All right, let's do that. So I want to talk about the Community Energy Project. It's helping Oregonians prepare their homes for extreme heat and cold, often at no cost. And the upgrades not only lower bills, but also make homes safer and more comfortable for seniors and families on fixed incomes. With colder nights arriving, Community Energy Project is busy helping families prepare their homes for the season.
Community Energy Project partners with low-income communities on the front lines of climate change to create more resilient, healthy, and safe homes.
That can mean new insulation, upgrading their heating systems, or replacing old water heaters. Work worth thousands of dollars, often at no cost to the client.
One, it's going to save the client about $300 a year on their energy use. It's also going to dehumidify the area that it's in.
For Sammy Lewis, a North Portland senior on a fixed income, the support has been life-changing.
It was so hot. I couldn't stay in my home trying to direct the heat out, and that was the first time I experienced that kind of heat.
Sammy's health suffers in weather extremes, and after the Heat Dome event of 2021, CEP stepped in with insulation and a new heat pump to keep Sammy's home safer year-round.
Yes, I did. Went down significantly, and I was happy about that because being on fixed income, that really helped me.
CEP works with funders and volunteers to make it possible. A key partner is Energy Trust of Oregon, an independent nonprofit that helps cut the cost of upgrades like insulation and efficient heat pumps. By partnering with groups like CEP, it brings those savings to families who need them most.
It's a real challenge to get into a house with someone who really needs service and really needs help, and trying to find solutions for that.
A challenge that CEP has been meeting since 1979. They've helped thousands of Oregonians lower bills and stay comfortable in their homes through every season. And coming up on October 7th, next week, they're going to host a free workshop. It's called Clean Energy for Every Home. No cost, no barriers. It's open to renters and homeowners looking for programs to cut bills and stay safe and make their homes more comfortable. Volunteers welcome too. In fact, one of the homes that we visited had a new roof put on it, nearly entirely from volunteer effort.
Huh.
And
Pretty
that's
cool,
good
Chris.
energy.
Yeah, very good energy on this Thursday morning. Thank you for that. Meanwhile, Rod Hill bringing the weather energy to the Sunrise program. And
Salt Girl.
Pardon me?
Salt Girl.
So this is the part of the program where China reminds Rod that when he brings that yellow umbrella to the set, he looks like the Morton's Salt Girl.
I get it. I like the look of the yellow, though. It's kind of festive, right? And bright for the morning hours.
I don't think you look like her, by the way.
Just like her.
Thank you.
I just think you look like a weatherman holding a yellow umbrella.
Yesterday, China had me skipping. I can't do that this morning because I would splash myself, because it is, in fact, raining up here. So the radar does not lie, as they say. I'm up here on the weather deck, brought to you by Rick's Custom Fencing and Decking. Solid overcast sky. Good visibility, though. I can see the cloud deck is well above the West Hills. The West Hills, the tip top's about 1,000 feet, so cloud deck is quite a ways above that. And there's really no wind up here this morning either. Let's get you out the door by looking at our satellite and radar. Here's the radar, and it's this batch of rain. See Salem on the map there? That's been hit by now a third batch of rain coming up. And it's this third batch that has migrated northward all up through Portland. Now, it is light rain, the light green color, and I can verify that. The darker green color out towards Sandy, that's the rain a little bit heavier. So it is still dry out in Hillsboro and then out the Sunset into the Forest Grove area, but certainly wet from Portland through Troutdale at this hour. Okay. We have Futurecast for you. It's just showing throughout the day, scattered shower chances continue. This is this afternoon. We'll go ahead and play this. The shower chance will end as we play the movie overnight tonight. Here's tomorrow morning. I think I got one more button to push. Brian Matthews, our director, taking us through the map. So yeah, here's tomorrow evening. We've been looking at a front passing us mainly to the north, but now at least a few of the models are saying, well, we get substantial cloudiness from that front Friday overnight into Saturday, and there could actually be some rain with it. So we're introducing a chance of a shower Friday overnight and on Saturday. Here are the raindrops over the state capitol in Salem, which has been, again, the rain bullseye this morning. You folks have just flat out been rainy more than not. 54 degrees is your temperature. Another camera to show you. Let's go up to the high country. This is one of our 2 live timberline cameras looking south down the range. 37 degrees up there. Snow levels today about 6,500 to 7,000 feet. Be about 50 degrees at pass level this afternoon. Temperatures are very uniform across the state. Seattle's 55, Kelso's the same, Astoria, Newport, Portland's 56. The Dow's in the 40s this morning. Our forecast map for today, 60-degree high temperatures, so 65 in Salem. We do believe we'll eventually get some sun breaks opening up, so sun and showers. Winds will be on the light side. Similar numbers up in southwest Washington, where it has been dry this morning, but afternoon showers are expected. And again, I still think, although it's raining on me right now, but I still think it makes sense that when we get through today and look back, it'll be drier than it was yesterday. All dry tomorrow, but that rain chance tomorrow overnight into Saturday. And then east winds bring us nothing but sunshine on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. That's your forecast. And from the weather deck, it is birthday time. All right, our party today starts with Abigail. Happy birthday to you, 7 years old today. And we'll up that by 1. Here's Zoe turning 8 today, and also Drake turning 11 on the 2nd day of October. Happy birthday to you. And Terry's celebrating 81 years young. There he is, good looking picture. Hope you have a wonderful day today. Our list is possible when you send us your birthday photos to birthdays@kgw.com. I don't have a photograph, Chris, but back in Missouri, my mother is 91 years young today. 91.
Happy
the
birthday. Lead rod.
I'll talk to her later today on the phone.
Happy birthday, Mrs. Hill, all the way out in Iowa.
Doing really well, by the way.
Missouri, excuse me. Good.
She's from Iowa. She's an Iowa, proud Iowa girl.
There you go. There you go. All right. Happy birthday to her. And in the meantime, I go from that happy thing to this not happy thing. We've got a really slow drive out there right now. Inbound Sunset, still 35 minutes. All the drive times highlighted in red right now. Your drive from Wilsonville, about 40 minutes. It hits the brakes around the 205 interchange, and then it's like this from Capitol Highway the rest of the way into downtown. So pack your patience out there as the rain begins to come down again across the region. I-5, the good news here, the end of the line out of Clark County has made its way down to about Lombard, but from there it's still slow and go the rest of the way into downtown. We'll be right back.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW+.
All right, here's a quick recap of some of this morning's top local stories. About 200 members of the Oregon National Guard gathering on the coast, preparing for their expected deployment to Portland. Oregon Senator Jeff Merkley is right there, says that they're training in Warrenton at this point. Now, the timing of their arrival in Portland remains unclear, but it does not look like it will be today. Tomorrow morning, we know a federal judge is going to hear Oregon's emergency motion to block the Guard's deployment. Portland Street Response is adding 4 more hours to its regular schedule of response times. The city program will now respond to calls between 6 a.m. and midnight. The city also added 14 new team members to the program, which sends a trained EMT and a mental health professional to some calls. Portland is pausing its recently rolled out plan to extend parking hours in some neighborhoods, pay to park hours, that is. For years, we know people only had to pay until 7 o'clock at night in many Portland neighborhoods, but that was recently extended to 10 at night. Now this pause comes into effect October 15th, rolling us back to 7 o'clock. It includes neighborhoods like downtown and the Pearl District.
Weather-wise, I was just upstairs and I did go to college. I'm not bragging, but I can verify it is raining outside.
Wow.
Yep. 67 the temperature. We keep a scattered shower threat alive today. We think we'll be dry tomorrow and clear skies start on Sunday. It's a light rain in downtown.
Light.
One more reason we at KGW are the official reporting station for the climate records, which have been kept here for
quite
decades.
a while. Yeah.
Good job, Rod.
Thank you.
I-5, solid from Capitol Highway. Here's your trip in from Wilsonville. 40 minutes now. That's still slow. All the drive times are really thick this morning. Maybe the rain has something to do with that. Right now, I-5 from Clark County still just shy of 30 from Main Street. Most of that lineup on the Oregon side of the Interstate Bridge.
All right, here we go, gang. Final 30 seconds of our Thursday Sunrise Show. Best day of the week coming tomorrow. That's the Friday edition of our show.
Yeah.
And there's rumors on the street.
Oh,
We're on the street
rumors.
still.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, we're going to check out those new chocolates from Salt and Straw.
Oh, the ones that I'm skeptical about.
It's the taco ice cream sandwich created by
Salt
and Straw
in collaboration with Taco Bell.
Okay.
That's tomorrow on Sunrise. In the
All right.
meantime, we say thanks for watching us on today's show. And continue to watch us, please, on this very channel, KGW Plus. It's your only spot to catch the 7 to 9 hours of